What is up, YouTube? Dots Gaming here, and today we are bringing back the Dungeon Guide series, and yes, we are starting with Veteran Hard Mode Fungal Grotto 1. So for a while, I was doing this series kind of like doing normal dungeons, and then I planned on doing the Veteran dungeons, and I covered all of this stuff while I was doing it, but eventually, I kind of got burnt out of the series and stopped wanting to do it, and I think it's because the normal dungeons, doing them, didn't really feel very rewarding making guides on them, so I think I had a hard time getting the motivation to actually create those guides. So I kind of stopped doing the series for a while, but you guys suggested, wanted it back, wanted the Dungeon Guide series back, but this time we are going to do it the right way and just do the Veteran Hard Mode versions. I will be going over the full runs like you see currently going on the screen. We'll be going over the full runs, going through the whole dungeon, talking about the different stuff that happens with the mobs, going and talking about the different stuff that happens with the bosses, so that you guys can see what a full encounter through the dungeon looks like, what you can expect to see, and be able to just really get a complete look at it. I'm going to try to include timestamps pinned in the comment of every video that has the different boss fights, so that if you really only need to skip to a certain boss and only want to know about a certain boss, you'd be able to skip to it very, very quickly. So I hope that you guys do enjoy the series and are happy that it's back. And we're going to be basically working our way through the list, starting at the top and going all the way to the bottom. So it's going to be a lot of the easier dungeons first, and then eventually moving to the Vet DLC dungeons. But as I said, this is Veteran Fungal Grotto 1. One of the easiest veteran dungeons you could possibly do. And as you saw in that initial room when you walk in, there's just a bunch of ads, and then same thing when you walk down that path. There's just a bunch more ads that basically all you have to do is just kind of tank and spank them. There's really nothing to be overly concerned about. Obviously, just don't stand in the conal AoEs that are summoned by the archers. Those are bashable, so that is something you can keep in mind. But once you get through those two rooms, you'll have your first boss fight, and that is Tazkad the Packmaster. And when you're doing this fight, he's going to have a bunch of ads around him, so make sure to lay down a ton of AoEs, and that will take care of most of the ads that you'll have to really be worried about. They're not very tanky at all, so you can just take those ads down very quickly. And then after that, you just focus down Tazkad, and really all you have to worry about with him is that he has a magic attack that could possibly stun you, and you can interrupt it, so just block it and you'll be fine. He's really not that big of a deal. And then after him, we just got to finish off that last ad. I was messing with a lot of settings with my game when I was doing this. I recorded this a couple weeks ago, and I'm now just finally getting around to making the video on. As you can see, I keep looking at my add-ons and settings and stuff. I'm having tons of problems. But the next room is going to have more ads in it. You're going to see that we have a lot more ads in the next room. I'm actually going to cut out all this stuff right here so we can actually get to the proper part. So as you can see inside this next room here, we have a bunch of ads. Again, just simply group them up, AoE them down. Nothing crazy. This is a really good dungeon for getting used to just like kind of basic mechanics. Everything in it is pretty basic. You kind of learn the basics of dungeon fighting. You know, interrupt things that are casting, don't stand in AoEs, block heavy attacks. There really aren't any mechanics in this that are super intensive, that are super crazy, that you really need to understand. It's all relatively straightforward. Now up here is another boss encounter that you're going to have, but first, prior to that, there are a bunch of ads around. Again, simply group them up and take them down. Really not that difficult. They are kind of spread out, so your tank optimally will try to want to chain all of those ads into one space so that you can AoE them down quickly, but if not, you could just go ad to ad to ad and just, you know, take them down, which really isn't overly difficult. Now, you're going to see when we get into this boss fight that the next boss fight is Warchief Ozzoc. And the Warchief is going to have two ads, as you can see, standing next to him. And they are going to be your first targets and the ones that you do want to take down quickly. Don't just let your AoE take them down. I would recommend actually focusing them down first. And the reason for that is that they do drop banners like the Dragon Knight banners that do deal a considerable amount of damage. So I would just kill those Murkwater guards and the Murkwater defenders. Just kill them first. Just kill them first, get them out of the way. Don't even deal with their AoEs. As you can see, they're really, really squishy. Now, he does this thing where he summons that channel the AoE onto another person in your group, and it puts an AoE down at their feet. When that channel's done, it basically just does a blast of damage. So all that person needs to do, or if it's you and you have that channel on you, is simply walk away from your group so that when the blast does go off, you are not hurting your group. And as you just saw him do as well, he did a heavy attack that our tank did not block, and he got knocked down because he did not block that heavy attack. So be sure he just got that one. Good. So when you see him channeling that heavy attack, make sure to hold the block so that you don't get completely creamed by it. And otherwise, yeah, that's really the main stuff of the fight. Really not overly difficult. Very, very straightforward. But basically, the Murkwater guards are the ones that you want to deal with first. And then, like I said, just mainly block the heavy attacks and you'll be fine. Now, once you kill this guy, he was like the goblin chief. So after that, all of the other goblins in the caves won't really be bothering you, won't really be attacking you. So the next part's going to be mainly dealing with the Dreugh that are deep within the caves here. So once we get past this group that we have up here, you're going to see that is the next kind of mob that we have to deal with. So you can see them up ahead. Lots of Dreughs, lots of crabs. So you have 3 right here. Very, very simple. AoE them down, kill them one by one. Really not that hard. No mechanics that you really have to worry about here. It's the next boss is pretty easy too. The next 2 bosses don't have a lot of mechanics. The final boss has one main mechanic that will really trip up some groups. I know I've even at like an end game point, if I've played with people in a group that didn't understand the mechanics, I've wiped a couple times on the final boss for people not getting used to the mechanics. But as you can see, there's a couple groups of crabs up here while you're dealing with the Dreugh. So the best thing that your tank can do is try to get all of these adds together, use talons on them, and just you'll be able to AoE them down so quickly. As you can see how fast we killed all those crabs. So coming up to the next boss, we have the Bloodbirther. Okay, I guess somebody aggroed the crabs behind us. But the next boss is going to be called the Bloodbirther. And it's a relatively straightforward fight. And I'll just kind of go over the mechanics a little bit beforehand so you can see it when we get to it. Basically, the Bloodbirther will be pulling targets at random toward it. And it doesn't really do much. It just kind of moves you from one place to another. You don't really take a lot of damage. You don't have to worry about anything crazy. That's really it. And then besides that, they have a frontal cone AoE that deals lightning damage. But besides that, there's really no other mechanics. They have 2 Dreugh adds next to them, so you just AoE those down while you tank and spank the main boss. So you'll be able to see us do that on that upcoming fight. But besides that, there really isn't a whole lot. So before we do the boss fight, though, we do take care of these 2 adds off to the side. Don't want to have to deal with unnecessary adds in the boss fight if we don't have to. So we take care of these 2 really, really quickly. So now getting into this fight, like you just saw the Bloodbirther pull our Stam DPS right to them. So just knowing that I just need to AoE these adds down, I drop my standard, and look how easy they die. After that, all you have to do is just tank and spank the boss. Don't stand right in front of him. Try to, the tank should optimally be facing the boss away from us or off to the side just so that none of us get caught in that frontal conal AoE. But besides that, it's really just a tank and spank. You saw our healer get pulled in, kind of just backpedals a little bit to get away, and that's really it. Very, very straightforward boss fight. Not hard at all. And, yeah, Bloodbirther is taken care of. Now, moving down, basically, you're going to kind of walk off that ledge that's right in front of me that we're walking towards. Just simply walk off that ledge, and you're going to see some more Dreugh down below. Just simply take care of them. Oh, the goblins wrecking their day, man. God, those goblins ain't taking no shit. So with those 2 Dreugh taken care of, and we now have, you can see there's a bunch of crabs in front of a bigger crab. So just bring the smaller adds into this little choke point here right on the bridge. It makes it you be able to AoE them down in 2.5 seconds. And then the next boss that we have is Clatterclaw. Very easy fight. Literally all Clatterclaw does is summon adds and puts down this conal. I don't even think the conal AoE was from Clatterclaw. I think the conal AoE was just from the goblins. So literally all Clatterclaw does, I think, is just summon these crabs. And you just AoE the crabs and then kill Clatterclaw. So yeah, as you can see, the conal AoE is from the goblins, which they're on your side, so you don't really have to worry about it. So literally tank, spank, kill the crabs, and you're done. But moving on to the final boss fight is Krah'gh the Dreugh King. We are going to be doing this on veteran hard mode. Still really isn't that difficult. Just kind of makes Krah'gh a little bit, a little bit tankier, do a little bit more damage. I do think, if I remember correctly, I do think we actually die a little bit during this fight, so you will get to see what happens. But as you can see, Krah'gh, the first thing he does is pull somebody towards him, and then at some point right after that, he's going to do that big growing AoE that if you don't get out of, as you can see, will one-shot you. I actually think this boss fight took us a decent amount of time because I believe we have a lower CP tank. Yeah, he's only CP 140. So that's why this took us a while. I wanted to try to do this run with as low CP people as I could. Try to get a couple low CP people just so that you guys can really see what this would look like, because odds are, if you're looking for a guide on Fungal Grotto 1, you're going to be a lower level player, so I wanted to try to kind of simulate what it would look like as much as possible. But that's the big thing with Krah'gh, is that he's going to pull you, and then after the pull is when that lightning field most likely is going to occur. It's not exclusive to that, but that's kind of like a telltale sign that, hey, we're about to get it. So you just literally need to walk away from the AoE. That's why you kind of see me doing the DPS dance, I like to call it, where you kind of move forward and backward, because I always want to be ready, especially as a DPS, to dodge roll and move backwards if I need to. But he also does summon Mudcrab AoE similar to Clatterclaw. Again, just, simply AoE them down. Really, really nothing that hard. In addition, he also does have a cast that you can see kind of like lines coming out of his body that indicate he's casting, which is called lunging strike. I think you've seen him do it a couple times where he's lunging forward kind of like that. That can knock you down. So you do need to make sure to be blocking during that time. Otherwise, you will be knocked down by that. Or you can just simply kind of, while blocking, move to the side so that you can keep yourself out of that. But yeah, so as you can see, when he does something like this, he's just summoning the Krah'gh ad. So you see, I just drop my AoE there and just cleave them down really, really quickly. So I back up, and then we all lived. Pulled somebody in, and then see, once he pulled somebody in, another AoE came, but I didn't notice it. So all three of us got cleaved by Krah'gh. All three of us got cleaved by Krah'gh. And I don't remember the last time I died in Fungal Grotto 1, but I wasn't paying attention. And you could say you don't pay attention. I'm looking at my stream chat or I'm doing other things. You'll get one shot, even in dungeons that, for somebody who's been playing for a while, this shouldn't be difficult. But it happens. It still happens. See, our tank is still down, so unfortunately I got killed by the boss here. But that's that's kind of the #1 mechanic of the dungeon. This wasn't the cleanest run for a video, but I kind of would rather have, for a more instructional video, I'd kind of rather have a little bit of a sloppy run, just so that you guys can see, you guys as people watching this guide can see, even when we're dying, even when people are making mistakes, this is how you recover from it. This is how you still work around the mechanics while you're trying to res people, and then eventually you will take down the boss, and the fight will be over. But that is pretty much it for today's Veteran Fungal Grotto 1 guide, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope you found it helpful, and I hope you're happy that the Dungeon Guide series is returning. The next one that you see will be Veteran Fungal Grotto 2, and my goal for the foreseeable future is going to be to create at least one of these videos per week. If I have other stuff I'm going to post other stuff alongside of it, but otherwise it's pretty much just going to be 1 to 2 of these per week. So it'd either be this and something else, or just 2 of these. So I hope you guys are looking forward to this series returning. And if you like this video, please smack a like on it. Any questions, leave a comment below. And if you're not, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, as well as hit the bell to make sure to keep notifications on. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I'm Dots Gaming, and I will see you all in the next one.